Hey guys, it's Tuesday. It's Tristan. This week's topic is hysterectomy. Just as a disclaimer ahead of time, I'm going to be using a lot of medical terminology for things that might be a little bit triggering for you. I'm going to be saying, like what these things actually are called medically. So if that's problematic for you, maybe don't watch this video. Yeah, so that's my disclaimer. But this, I personally don't want to think about the issue, which is probably why I should talk about it and share some research on it. I'm avoiding getting a histo till I absolutely have to. What is a hysterectomy? It is when doctors remove the uterus and sometimes the cervix and sometimes the ovaries, although not always. You can have like a partial histo. Yeah, sometimes they remove the cervix and other reproductive organs as well. Without removing those, it is sometimes called a subtotal hysterectomy. It is something that doctors recommend that you get done 5 years after going on T. Some doctors, doctors might start pestering you about it after about 2 years. It's a completely personal decision whether or not you want to get a histo. That's something I personally am holding off thinking about until I graduate. Like, I got my my list of like surgical stuff goes like top surgery, and then next big life thing is graduation, and then I'll deal with that stuff. But like, because I don't know if I ever want to be able to biologically carry children or not, I'm not gonna get a histo until I decide on that. But I've got other friends who have different opinions on that. Other friends who are like, get this out of me, I don't need this, why is, whatever. For some people it's really important, and for some people it's kind of an afterthought, or just something that they don't want to deal with yet. But yeah, so a hysterectomy, what can happen if you don't have a hysterectomy yet, trans guys, and I know this is something you don't want to hear, but if you don't have a histo yet, you need to keep getting regular updates at your gynecologist's office. You need to keep getting pap smears, making sure that you are healthy and safe and don't have anything potentially sick going on down there. Potentially bad health. Make sure good health. Yeah, so you need to keep checking in with your doctor. And also something else that can happen if you don't have a histo is that there can be spotting and bleeding occasionally, because when people menstruate, they get rid of the lining of the uterus. Like, that's what some of that is. It's like shedding the lining, and when you stop menstruating, because you go on T, for example, it builds up, and sometimes it's just like, oh no, I gotta get out of here, so then it evacuates, and that can turn up as like spotting for trans guys, even if you've been on T for a while, which, we all know that's a little traumatic. Also, if you've been on T for like 5 or more years, it can atrophy, like the organ can actually atrophy, and then that could be dangerous for your health for multiple reasons, because you could be prone to infections. I don't think he minds us saying this because it's pretty well publicized news, but Buck Angel had been on T for 10 years, and the doctors didn't start pestering him about getting a histo for a while, and he got really, really sick because he had something happen, and he had to get an emergency histo. Oh, well, that's another thing. Okay, so actually getting it done is something that a lot of times you can get health insurance to cover it. It's one of the reasons I think that a lot of people don't change their gender marker with their insurance until later, because if your gender marker is still, F, then that will be recognized by insurance as to why you'd be getting a hysterectomy. If it's already been changed to M, sometimes your insurance will look at that and be like, well, that's an anomaly. Why would he need why trans people? What are trans people? I don't know, because I'm insurance, and I haven't sat down and thought about the fact that there are thousands, if not millions, of these people living in this country and needing particular types of health insurance. But that is a topic for another day, because, man, I could go on about that forever. Yeah, so, sadly, I don't really have, I think that I think that pretty much covers it. Oh, here's another thing. If you have a histo, you can choose not to have them remove your ovaries, so you can still have eggs, which is good if you ever want to save that genetic material for later, you know, to have a baby biologically. You know, save it to get them taken and put in a surrogate, or because if you've had a histo, you can't carry a baby anymore. That's something that you need to know before you think about getting that done. Is that's you know, that's it. No more. You can't have baby biologically and carry it. You also, for a fallow, you need to have had a histo first. Not for other kinds of surgery. Well, if you have any more questions, I will do my best to be a resource for that. I also can link you to some things, some good resources for trans guys on hysterectomies and other surgeries and all the doctor stuff. Yeah. So, if you have any questions, ask me or one of the other guys who's actually been through it, because that might actually be a better idea, to talk to one of them that have actually, you know, had that experience, because I haven't. I hope y'all are having a fantastic week, and I hope y'all are safe and happy, and yeah, so have a good week. I'll see you next week.